Still not sponsored. I guess we should just crack into this. Last Friday, I sat down and recorded like a 20-minute video, and people actually watched it and listened to all the stuff that I talked about, which is weird. Primarily because this channel isn't really designed for other people; it's designed for me to look back on. But when the YouTube love is flowing, why not continue? No, actually, the reason I wanted to do this was I actually look forward to this sort of video, which is weird. Like, video is obviously a massive part of my life, and I spend a lot of time doing it, and then when you get a choice to do your own stuff, it's good. But I have felt more recently that I'm not really that interested in doing my own stuff. So to let's just check the levels here. So to actually be having that like internal drive to actually sit down and do something for myself is actually kind of cool, kind of nice. So I figured whilst I've got the interest, I might as well continue. I mean, I did want to put more on this channel. So one of the things that I was thinking about was, and this isn't the topic for today's video, but I was thinking about calling this the Friday Meltdown, because I feel like my life is a meltdown at the moment, but more where we just take stuff apart and talk about it. And when I say we, I mean me, because this is like a one-way street, so sorry. We're going. So again, I think this is going to be like a 20-minute uncut sort of thing. Actually, I can't determine the length until we've done it, but there we go. I wanted to talk about kind of two areas, like two topic areas. I was thinking during the week, and I guess, like, again, I interact with other business owners a fair bit, but I actually figured that potentially as a small business owner, the biggest thing that we have going for us is level of control. It's one of the reasons I started my business. Was I worked in a corporate environment, and I felt that there was so many better ways to do things, and I think when you kind of hit that like above 25 to 30, you definitely start to feel like that. You start to see the same shit going on all the time, and you're kind of like, why are we doing this? Why is this a problem? Why are we not moving forward quicker? And like, I know that when I sat in that corporate position, or those corporate positions, I was very much like, this is ridiculous. Like, some of the stuff that you see, and so you start to think, well, you sit there and you're like, well, if I was president of this company, then this wouldn't happen, and I'd do it this way, and blah 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 blah. And for me, I got so fired up with this stuff. I'd sit in management meetings and be like, why is this happening? Why can't you, why can't we do what we're supposed to be doing? And yeah, you would literally be like, if this was my company, if I had the option, if I was the manager of your department or whatever it is, I was ahead of that project, you'd be like, it's so simple. And I think when I quit and started my own thing, I was like, sweet, this is it. I've got control. I can do anything I want. I am the master of my destiny. And that is, in fact, what you get, which is this paradoxical sort of thing where control within your business is both the biggest thing that you've got going for it, and also the biggest paralyzer. And that's a weird state to be in. And what I mean by that is that as a business owner, you are in control of everything. You can determine what coffee you drink, when you order things, how you order things, how you want documents to look, what's your process of work. Like, anything you can think of, it is 100% up to you. And I guess for some people that leads into maybe decision fatigue, where they just get so fed up with making decisions. I don't find that an issue, although those who know me will know I'm a absolutely rubbish decision maker. If things are important, like I will sit on stuff. I think owning a business has definitely changed my mindset about that. But I think that the decision fatigue is one reason that it becomes a big paralyzer. I think the other thing is just you're worried about making the wrong decision, and you start to pin your decisions on other decisions. So, well, we can't make a decision on this until we've done that. And that all loops into this bigger picture. And what happens within a small business is you have this, massive ability to control anything and everything that you want. And yet you also feel that if you make any changes or make any decisions, you're going to lose stuff, like you're going to lose customers or money or whatever it is. And that, in a way, is stupid, because often small businesses will take a lot longer to make a decision in that case than big businesses, and it really shouldn't. I'm trying to tackle this myself within my business because I don't feel paralyzed, but I do feel that things don't move as quickly as I would like them to, and part of that is to do with manpower. I mean, I wrote a massive list of things to do in 2018, and I looked at it in 2019 and went, oh, we did not achieve as much as I wanted. And if you want to know more about that, there is actually a video on that on the channel where it's got a whiteboard, and I kind of talk through everything that we had and everything that we didn't do, and there's a lot more didn't do than what we actually wanted to do. But I think for me it's about manpower. I think I'm definitely trying to, and I've had it for a while in the business, but I'm definitely trying to act on the sort of like, we're at 80% and that's good enough. That said, I found some stuff within the business that I was like, oh, that really shouldn't have been let through. So it is, as with everything that I talk about, like a balance. What was the other point I was going to make there? I can't remember. And then your mind goes blank and you've still got an unedited 20 minutes to fill. So one of the things I'm doing this year is breaking my tasks into smaller tasks, as in I'm actually going to try and achieve less. And I think that will result in a better result. So rather than trying to, I know that we need a bigger picture and we need to see where we're going, but I think by trying to achieve less objects, I'll probably be more successful, which I think mentally helps you progress along. The other thing is that I'm just, in a way, moving towards the fuck it, just get on with stuff. As an example, I've noticed that for social media videos, there's obviously there's a range of different formats, and I kind of talked about this in my last video, one of these talky ones, about there's a range of formats that you can deliver video in. So you can deliver it in widescreen, you can deliver it vertical, and then obviously square, and then I've noticing that Facebook and Instagram are prioritizing what's known as 4:5 ratio, so it's 1080 length by 1350, so it's a slightly more vertical video, and I noticed it's been more prioritized. And in relation to this whole big control piece, I was sitting there and I was like, well, that means we need to update packages, and we need to think about what the knock-on effects are, and do our clients want that, and do we need to charge more for that because we're essentially we're doing more work and blah 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 blah. And in the end, I was like, why worry about this? Ultimately, my role is to give my clients the best support and the best product that they can have. So I just did it. I just went, this particular project absolutely needs it. And so they got a copy. So normally we would do a copy for Facebook, YouTube, and then maybe a square copy if they need it and it's applicable because of the whole limit for Instagram for a minute. But I think the 4:5 thing, I just went, you know what? We're just going to do it. We're just going to change. And yeah, that was actually quite, I know this is real tiny, small stuff, but this is an example of how you've got control over anything that you want. Excuse me. And it's ultimately you to just go, yep, we're just going to do it. And I think as small business owners, we need to have more of that attitude rather than the either concern that we're not making either the concern that we need to wait to make a decision, or it plays part of a bigger picture. I think that is all I wanted to talk around with that particular topic. So we should move to the next one, which I wanted to talk around like being a small business owner. And I wanted to talk about it in the form of, now this is going to seem depressive, but support and loneliness. And I guess like as a small business owner, and I really mean this as sort of like when you're somebody like me, you're working as a one-man team, it's very limited. It is mentally difficult because there aren't that many people that you can talk to. You can talk to people a little bit, and you can, I think partially that's why these videos are important for me, but to just get stuff out. But they are difficult. You can have housemates and partners and family members and all that sort of stuff, and you can talk to them about the ins and outs of your work. And if you don't run a small business, you could come home and talk about your normal job, right? And you would try and explain everything that you've done. And you can see that person's eyes just glaze over as you continue to talk basically at them. And as the opposing partner, let's give it their perspective, would be like, why the fuck are you talking to me? Why are you talking about all this stuff? What importance does it have? Are you paying any attention to my life? And the answer is no. But I think it is difficult as when you run on your own to actually get the right level of support, because no one is walking in your shoes to understand what you're going through at that particular time. And as I say, you can try and explain it to someone, and usually that does something to at least release, but it is quite a difficult and lonely position. And in all honesty, I don't know quite what you do about that sort of stuff. So that's probably an interesting thing to raise on these sort of vlogs, because I don't have a perspective on it, but I think it is something that perhaps in this world where entrepreneurs are like the next things to the dog's danglies, I think it's something that's not really thought about and not really considered, that a lot of the time you spend on your own thinking about what you're supposed to be doing, where you're taking the business, you become the cook, the cleaner, the paperclip counter, the CEO all in one go, and you're expected to just kind of deal with it from a mental aspect. And it's not probably something that's discussed a lot. And you can go along and talk about like networking events and stuff like that, but in all honesty, like, I don't think they're going to do squat to help your mental health. And as I say, like, talking to other people has its limitations because they're not in the same conversations, they're not in the same mindset. And in all honesty, and this isn't supposed to be some kind of like looking down on how other people work, but it is a different path that not many people tread, the whole like solo business person, and that can be quite difficult to deal with. And I don't have anything more to talk about on those particular points, and that's really not a great way, a positive way to end this. As a trying to end this positively. If you watch my vlog, like I think it's like 2 ago, where I start talking about being overloaded and overworked and that sort of stuff, we're actually progressing forward. I don't know how to make that more positive. Like, I finally feel like we've had a number of projects that have been sitting on hold for a long period of time. One of them was like our longest one was 14 months. We've been waiting 14 months to do something, which, like, from a resource perspective, it eats up time, hard drive space, all that sort of stuff. From a mental perspective, seeing stuff sit in your task list for 14 months is soul destroying. And to finally move some of these projects through and actually be looking at the fact that we're going to be moving towards editing projects, like only having projects outstanding from probably November, December, bearing in mind we're in February now, is absolutely fucking mint, quite frankly. Because having those things sitting there and weighing on you, thinking, like, well, ultimately, when am I going to get paid, is difficult. And I guess unless... Yeah, the only way I can equate it is imagine, like, all of the stuff that we do is payment on delivery. So whilst we take a payment up front as a form of deposit, the predominant part of the payment is when we do the work. And so when we're on hold for that amount of time, you're literally looking at it going like, well, that folder that's sitting on my desktop is worth, however many days or weeks or whatever it is worth of rent, food, beer, petrol for the car, insurance, all that sort of stuff. So I'll try and end this positively because I just realised I've headed back into a negative spiral. So when these things actually progress, you're like, come on, you beauty. It is very nice to have those actually move forward. And it's weird, so the way that don't hit the mic. So the way that my filing system works is basically once something is kind of done, one, we colour code all the folders so we know what's going on, and two, once they're done, they move into an archive folder, and once they've been archived, they go off this computer and move to another computer, or like a storage system, so that they're held safely, carefully, if only our clients are watching, and we can access them at any particular point. But today I literally went through and dropped probably 5 projects into that folder, and I'm like, yes, goodbye, you are done, don't need to see you again. So that progress has been absolutely awesome. Anyway, I can already see that the counter is moving up there. I had a whole bunch of points to talk around, but I thought that those two, the whole big control and big paralyzer, were kind of something, and also just talking about support and loneliness, because I think if you don't start talking about these things, then other people don't really think about them, and who knows, other people have stumbled upon across this channel and occasionally send me a message and say it's useful. I don't know who that... No, it is cool when somebody says that. But yeah, ultimately the aim of this channel is for me to look back on and see how I'm going. And I don't just want to talk about the positive things. I do want to talk about the tricky stuff as well, as best I can, without divulging all of the company secrets, because I'm sure somebody will come and get us for it, because that's the internet. But yeah, I think I'm hoping that we are moving towards a point where work is a little more controlled. I'm hoping that some of the personal passion projects that I've got going on actually spark a bit of passion, because at the moment I feel like this is the only one that I really feel like, yeah, I want to sit down and I want to record a video and just talk smack. And yeah, if you are a random person who's watching and you've enjoyed this episode of The Friday Meltdown, I don't know, do you like that idea? I don't know, I think I do. I kind of want it with, I wanted it with like some kind of animation to do with a volcano, like erupting, The Friday Meltdown, where I just go off piste with just rambles. But yeah, if you have enjoyed it, it has been useful, then let me know, because it does honestly inspire me to talk more smack. I should probably do these with a beer next time. I'm still not sponsored, I'm just doing this because somebody picked it up in the last video and was like, is that all you drink? So I'll just keep drinking this for a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to stop the video there. I'm going to thank you guys, even though this channel is designed for me, blah 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 blah. I'm going to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time I sit down and record one of these. Catch ya.